Hi, this is Deborah Mastic, your virtual resume coach. I've interviewed a lot of recruiters and hiring managers in order to gain an understanding of what they look for in resumes and how they use resumes so that I could develop the perfect resume. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to create a resume that employers can't resist using one version of my personal resume, which has had a lot of success over the years. The other purpose of this video is to demonstrate the level of thought and effort that I put into the resume writing process. My resume methodology is based on years of research and the use of cognitive psychology. The first thing that I want to call out on my resume is that I don't put my contact information under my name, because the area under your name is the most focal part of your resume. Instead, I put 3 keywords that are going to catch the resume reader's attention and entice them to hopefully spend a little more time reading my resume. Recruiters spend less than 10 seconds scanning a resume before making a judgment. In my case, I use the keywords instructional designer, technical writer, and project manager. That combination of words is going to help me stand out from my competition because I have significant professional experience in those 3 fields, whereas many of my competitors only have instructional design experience. This is something that can make me very attractive to a hiring manager who wants to hire people who are going to bring new skills to the team. If I were a military veteran or had an active security clearance or some special certification or designation that was relevant to the job, I could put any of those things under my name instead. What you use under your name really depends on your personal experience and what you're going after. Now let's look at the body of the resume. Notice that I use a 2-column resume template. Here's column 1 and here's column 2. There are several major advantages to using a 2-column resume template over a single-column resume template. First, it enables me to fit more information on one page. One of the most common questions that I get asked is if a 1-page resume is really more effective than a 2-page resume. While there is nothing wrong with a 2-page resume, a 1-page resume is more effective in my opinion for several reasons. When a recruiter first scans your resume, they make a judgment about whether to interview you or not based on the first page of your resume. If you put important information on a second page that may influence their decision, it will not be taken into consideration during the initial screening. Because if they don't see what they need to see on the first page to interview you, they're not going to bother to read through a second page. Another good reason to have a 1-page resume is because it can show that you have an ability to synthesize and organize information effectively. A finely tuned 1-page resume will make a much better impression than every detail of your work experience. I've never heard any employer complain that a resume wasn't long enough. Remember, a resume is just an introduction. It needs to quickly show how you are a good match for the specific job opening and take the risk out of reaching out for an interview. Here's the other great thing about the 2-column resume template. It enables you to showcase your work history equally with other relevant qualifications like your education or skills, so nothing gets buried at the bottom of your resume. Now let's get to the meat of the resume. We'll start with my work history because current employment is the first thing that employers look for in your resume. Here's a couple of my top tips. The most basic thing is that anyone reading your resume should be able to quickly understand what you do at your job. Many people are so close to their own experience that they don't realize that the bullets they have listed are unclear or they lack key details and context. So here's the first bullet point under my most recent job. Developed mobile training programs for all levels of the organization. Supported the training and development of 26,000 team members. If someone were to ask me to describe what I did at my job in a nutshell, that's what I would say. My next tip is don't list too many generic responsibilities on your resume because employers know that certain responsibilities are associated with the job title. Instead, list relevant and memorable accomplishments that are unique to you and your experience. I list a lot of accomplishments on my resume, but I'll just pick one to talk about in this video. Selected by leadership to travel to the St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to present a multi-million-dollar donation on behalf of the company. Listing this accomplishment can really help distinguish me from my competition because it's really unique. It also conveys a lot about how much respect the leadership team had for me at my company. Another way to really make your resume stand out is to provide tangible examples of soft skills. Just listing great team player or effective communication skills on your resume is not going to cut it anymore because employers are savvy and they can't just take those words at face value. Here's an example that I put on my resume to demonstrate that I have great soft skills. Nominated for the Red Robin Team Member of the Quarter in 2015. Described by peers as a dream coworker and an asset to Red Robin in the nomination. The fact that my peers took the time to nominate me for this prestigious award and said those specific things about me in the nomination, which I have a copy of, is really powerful and helps establish my credibility. The last thing you can do to really make your resume irresistible is to show employers that you are continually learning new things and engaged in your profession. Professional development is an investment in yourself that can transfer to the next company you work for. In my resume, I mention here that I recently attended a large conference on behalf of the company, and I go briefly into what I gained from the experience. The reason I included this is because I can transfer this experience to the next company that I decide to work for, so they would reap the benefit of my knowledge even though my current company paid for the conference. It also shows that my current company was willing to invest money in my development, so I must be valuable to them. I hope these tips helped you. There's a lot more that goes into writing a resume, but I didn't want to make this video too long. If you would like my help updating or writing your resume, you can order a resume writing service off my website, virtualresumecoach.com. I will put the same level of thought and effort into designing and writing your resume. Or you can download this resume template and get a copy of my newest book, Resumes Made Simple. Resumes Made Simple is essentially a blueprint for creating a resume like this and comes with step-by-step instructions and examples. This is a really great option for people who don't want to spend the money on a resume writing service, or they just want to learn how to write an awesome resume. I'm Deborah Mastic, your virtual resume coach. Thanks for watching and happy job hunting.